So for today's lesson, I'm going to go over two major topics with you. The first topic we're going to be going over is the following. This is the example we're going to look at. And this topic is called experimental probability. So in your books, what I would like you to do is write the title, experimental probability. You may want to pause this video. Now, we're going to go over this question. A fair coin is flipped 14 times. Predict the number of times you expect a head to be face up. So this prediction is called theoretical probability. This is how many times we'd expect in theory if we weren't to actually do the experiment. These are quite easy questions. So question A is 14 times 0.5. So what you do is you get the amount of times you're going to throw something, which in this instance is going to be 14. You then need to multiply it by 0.5 because that's the probability of getting a head. So you get the amount and times it by the probability. 14 times a half, or half of 14, is 7. Question B. Statistical data built up over 5 years shows that the probability of a student being absent is 0.05. Predict the number of students you expect to be absent. So again, you need to get the two bits of key information, and we want to find effectively 0.05 of 531. So you just times those together and this is your answer. So this is still theoretical probability. And this question here is just a worded question, so read that answer and try and understand it. Here's some further questions which you may want to practice. I have got the answers if you would like them. So you're now going to do experimental probability on Maths Watch. I will show you where to find that. That will talk about the difference between experimental and theoretical. So if you go onto Maths Watch and you log in, you should be able to find the following task. Experimental probability. If I click on this, it opens here, and we are going to want to preview this task. There are 11 questions. So again, this is theoretical probability based off the experiment. And the words theoretical and experimental have a close link to each other. These are really quite quick questions, as you can see, and I'd recommend you have a go as many as these can and spend approximately 10 minutes on these questions. If you've got longer, fantastic. So we're going to carry on. Now we are going to be doing an Edpuzzle. This is essential you do also. So if you go on to Edpuzzle, I will post a link potentially on the PowerPoint. Alexa, stop. So if we go down to here, there's one which is called conditional probability. So this introduces the new topic. I'm going to share this assignment and I'm going to paste this here. Please click on this link and complete it. Now we're going to go over a little bit more to do with Venn diagrams. We have talked about the intersection, the union, the complement, and now with the conditional probability, you should understand this. What I'd like you to do is pause the video and make any notes on this screen that you may not have understood or may not have already written down. I'd particularly focus on the conditional, as this is new content to you. So we're going to go over this question and I'm going to explain why it's significant. A student is chosen from this class if E is the event the student takes ESS and G is the event the student takes geography. Then find these probabilities and interpret what they mean. So first of all, we're going to do ENG. Now this is the intersection of E and the intersection of G. Now you should know by now the intersection is where they cross over. So in this intersection, there is one number. You need to add all the numbers together out of a possible of 11. So this is why we get one number out of 11. If you don't understand my explanation, read this explanation as well and pause the video. This one here is what's the probability of E union G. So this is everything in E and everything in G. So you need to count them all together. 2, 3, 1, 3. There's going to be 9 options out of 11. Again, straightforward, more information if you want to pause the video. We're now going to go over to part C and D. C is straightforward again, D is a little bit more challenging. C is not A. That's everything which is not in circle E. So we need to look at all the numbers in the red section. This time we've got 3 and 2. You add them together, that gives you the 5. There's 11 numbers altogether, it's 5 out of 11. E given G. So, conditional probability works in different ways. For Venn diagrams, the easiest way to think about it for a given question is for G, you just look at the G circle, or just the green. So our denominator changes. Our denominator is based on the given part. It changes to 4. And then we need to look in this circle and say, what part of that circle is E? Well, it's just 1 out of a total of 4. Now, if we look at the other question, G given E, now this time we need to look at the E circle. The E circle is going to be this one here. For this E circle, there are 6 numbers altogether, which is why we get 6 as the denominator. And the section that is G is just going to be the intersection here. So it's going to be 1 out of 6. Pause and make notes on this now. Finally, here's an exercise you may want to do. It gives you different probabilities and it's worth completing this table in your own spare time or at the end of this lesson if you still have time. Good luck with your work.